Welcome to Snowmobile Sessions Live on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms. It's the #1 destination to learn about snowmobiling, network with other sledders, and have an awesome time doing it. We'll meet other snowmobilers that share your passion and show your fan photos along the way. Snowmobile Sessions Live. Enjoy the ride.
This episode of Snowmobile Sessions Live is brought to you by Energy POWERSPORTS. They're Oakville's full-line BRP dealer with sales and service to all BRP models and so much more. Energy POWERSPORTS always has the fun in store with a wide selection of clothing, parts, and accessories for all your powersports passions. Make Energy POWERSPORTS your source for Can-Am off-road, ATV, and side-by-sides. Can-Am on-road Ryker and Spyder, including the sporty F3S. Sea-Doo watercraft and Switch pontoon boats, and Alumacraft fishing boats powered by Mercury Marine. Put yourself on a Manitou pontoon or a Widescape stand-up snowmobile. Energy POWERSPORTS is the home for Lynx and Ski-Doo snowmobiles for the entire family. Do you feel the energy? Energy POWERSPORTS, 879 Cranberry Court, Oakville, Ontario, or online, Energy Power.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious.
You deserve better. Get a taste for your specialized carbides at QUALIPIECES.com. And don't forget, fan photos are brought to you from Fast Track Snowmobile Traction Products. Use the exclusive offer SNOW at checkout and get your free gift, fasttrack.co. We'll learn more about that at fan photos. All right, but now we're back to the show. And tonight we have Len Performance. We have Tyler with the beard. And Bo with, he's trying to grow into Tyler's beard.
Yeah, not quite there yet. Aspiring.
How are you boys tonight?
Oh, we're doing great. Doing great. Absolutely.
Awesome. So, okay, so I first was exposed to Len Performance at the Toronto Snowmobile Show. You're at Heydays as well. I don't know how I missed you, but I did. Tell me about Len Performance. How did it get started?
Well, Len Performance came out of riders who wanted to be able to offer a set of shocks for their suspension, but not have to have a very expensive cost to get into it. The easiest way to say it is that for our shocks, it's a great shock, but it won't break the paycheck.
Right. You know what I was really impressed with, and I said that something that commented in the chat to start out with All Terrain TV. I was really impressed with the fit and finish, like the finish of the shock when I actually got to hold one at the show and see how well it was. Like, you're saying it won't break the bank. Like, where do you position yourself in the market?
So when we started developing this brand, and probably around 3 years ago now, it took a lot of time and energy, but the overall kind of goal for the brand was to come out with a high performance shock that has a lot of adjustability and really high quality at a price point that's around 30% under the competition.
So is it like competition? Who would you say was your competitor? Is it OEM or is it someone like Elka? Fox, that kind of thing.
So for us, the competition ranges. It ranges from the machines that come OEM with a performance shock to, it also goes down to the machines that don't come with a performance shock, but that you want to have that type of a product. You want to upgrade your machine to be a little more sporty, a little more responsive in the turns. For when it comes to brands that we are in competition with, the name brands, Elka, Olin's, Fox, all those do come to mind. That yes, they are, but again, we are comparable to them. But again, our product has a much better buy-in cost.
How do you achieve that? How do you give something that's far more superior at a lower price, or is it just that the competitors are overcharging for these things?
It's kind of both, honestly. When it's just like any other industry out there, a lot of times it's a name brand. You're going to be paying somewhat for just the name.
Right.
With us, we focus on having a quality product built of all aluminum parts, and that helps us with making it a superior product. We do engineer and design them all here in the USA, and then we actually are partnered with a world-class suspension factory in Thailand.
Oh, sweet. And is it made all in Thailand, or do you get the parts made and assemble them back in the US?
So we're a lot like, we have everything is built in Thailand, but if you look at any other shock out there, they might say they're made here, but their seals are probably from Japan. Their oils are going to be probably from Germany. Like the parts are going to be from all over the world. We have chosen that we want to use a high quality factory and make it to help us with getting to the price point that we know a lot more riders are able to get to.
Yeah, and as far as price point, I think we'll wait till that. We'll wait and ask that question when we get to the photos of your shocks, because you send us in some product shots and we can talk about price range.
Looks like
where do you think that? Sorry about that. I think it's them dropping. It might be them dropping out.
Yeah. All right, now we can see you again.
Yeah. Go ahead, no problem. And you have low price internet too, I guess.
Apparently, yeah.
Never had an issue like this.
No, what stage do you think in a snowmobiler's time of owning a sled, when do they get to the point where they start looking at your products? Like what makes them choose Len, and when would they do that?
I mean, I would say there's a couple different instances. You know, if your machine comes with non-reservoir shocks or non-adjustable shocks from the factory, I mean, I'm always for upgrading my machine, making it, you know, the faster I can go, the better suspension, more power I can get out of it. That's kind of like my deal. But so that's a big one. If they don't come with an adjustable shock, you can transfer to ours.
The next type of step of a rider that would be getting into our product would be the guy who he's buying a little bit. He's not the first owner of that machine. He's the second, third owner of a machine, and he's buying a machine that's got blown out shocks. And instead of wanting to put money into those shocks that they're going to be worn worn out and the bodies are starting to be corroded and things like that, he can upgrade to our setup and be able to have a nice, good looking shock and still have a simple bolt-on product that he can get onto his machine.
Right. And then you have all the parts for rebuilding down the road as far as seals and that type of thing.
Correct.
Yeah, we offer the full line of seals, bushings, and shafts, springs. We offer all those through our service network.
Right on. Perfect. And where is your service network? We have a maps coming up the show, but are they actually snowmobile dealers? Or are they aftermarket suppliers? Like in Canada, we have Royal Distributing. Where do people find your products?
So we work with distributors worldwide. Up in Canada, it's Sun and Snow and Gamma POWERSPORTS.
Oh, right on.
Down in the U.S., it is Automatic Distributing, BCS, and Western POWERSPORTS. Those are, so any dealer that works with one of those distributors, they will be able to order our product to your dealer. Now, for our service network, those are actually spread out a little more. We've got about 10 so far that are spread across North America to help with servicing and setting up machines as riders purchase our product.
Excellent. Perfect. Before we go any further, let's see who's in the chat. Drew, you want to go and do a little read through on who we're in here? We got quite a bit of people in there.
Sure. So first in the house tonight, looks like for us is going to All Terrain TV. Start giving. We got to get like a sticker pot or something. So whenever we meet these, it's like you get a sticker every time you're first in the chat. Anyways, All Terrain TV says, "Sweet, more modern suspension info that I'll be able to apply to my old machines." Lapoinski in here as always. Maybe he's having a soak already. We'll have to check in on that. Just Fly Lows in the chat, throwing sparks. Chris Watson, Corey Brock as always, keeping you guys in line.
He said the lake effect snow guns are firing up. If anyone got snow, let us know. We're in Ottawa and they had a light dusting Sunday morning. It was awesome to see. So yeah, it's pretty good. I know Outdoor Hobby Guys, he sent me some pictures of some snow in Quebec. It's happening. It really is.
Let's hope. Uncle Buck says, "Good evening, everyone." Jacob Massart said, "Getting cold in Wisconsin." And 6 to 8 in the UP. It's cooked. Have to wait a little bit longer. Motorsport Channel says, "Hey guys, Odie the sled and truck guy."
6 to 8 inches of snow.
Oh, I thought he meant 6 to 8 degrees.
No.
I thought that was a type. I thought that was actually a typo.
No, inches, yeah.
6 to 8 inches. Oh,
yeah,
man.
That's good. I'd be riding in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Outdoor Hobby Guys in here.
End Shore, 5 inches this morning. I don't know where he's from. North Shore sounds like.
North Shore, that's Minnesota.
Is it? Right on.
Okay.
Where are you guys from?
So we're based right around the Twin Cities. We're based out of Rosemont, Minnesota.
Oh, sweet. Love that area. So you didn't have very far to go to Heydays at all. So Alan Gallant, that's a new name for us too. Yeah, welcome aboard.
Willie McCleary. Greg Kelly's in the chat. Who else?
Outdoor Hobby Guy. I think we mentioned him.
Yeah. Denon here. Hey guys, a little late. What did I miss? Nothing much yet.
He said snow's coming to Ontario. He can't wait. I don't think anybody in Ontario can. Odie says no snow in Muskoka yet. And Just Fly Low says he just had enough snow to cover the ground, but you got to start somewhere. That's pretty cool.
Oh, look at All Terrain TV. Just said, might have to get some shocks on my 06 Rev versus rebuilding old used HPGs.
What's the benefit of them doing that?
His biggest benefit would be basically that he's got new shocks.
Yeah.
But one of the other benefits would be that our shocks have a large amount of adjustment to them. We offer 5-click compression adjustment and on all of our shocks, while our ski shocks also have a 5-click adjustment on the rebounds.
Oh, sweet. That's really good.
Mm-hmm. He just put he has the non-adjustable, so he doesn't have the HPG clickers. He must just have the I guess would be the X package on the 06 Rev had non-adjustable.
That'd be a huge upgrade for him.
Massive.
Well, I mean, you can be a couple $100 a shock to rebuild them, right?
Even though.
So what kind of extra money would you have to pay to get a complete new Len?
So just for an example for you, and again, this is US dollar. I'm going to give you the example I'm going to give you. For like a switchback assault, we have a switchback assault here, and on that machine, for that all 4 shocks on that machine, we're talking about $1,800, $1,900 US.
Right on. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So you're not much more to actually just replace the complete shock, right?
And who knows like how long those HPGs are going to last for. It's an old shock. It's just things are just going to keep going wrong on it the longer you leave it too. Yeah, right. You rebuild them. You can rebuild them over and over and over and over again, but you're wearing out your spring every single time, and it's metal. Metal doesn't like getting fractured, stressed, heated, and cooled. It's
and the inside of that shock body will actually start to wear, and so then you're going to start actually getting extra bypass that you can't fix. There's no, even putting new seals in there, you wouldn't be able to do that. On all of ours, yeah,
here,
you can see that.
Here, hold on. Nice. We'll make sure they can see that. Hold on. Look at that.
There we go.
So see, this is on the inside of all of our shocks, we actually anodize the inside and outside of the shock body to help with preventing that wearing out.
Yeah, hold that shock back up again.
Yep.
Like, look at how thick the walls of that shock body is at the top. And then you can see, hopefully you guys can see the finish on it. Like, I was blown away by the quality finish and the look of it. Like, even look at the piggyback. It looks really cool. Now, is that piggyback like the Asian shocks you see on eBay where it's not really attached?
No, it is very much attached, and very much there is passageways in there. Our piggybacks, all of our piggybacks do have a finned reservoir. And we actually use that to our advantage for extra strength in the piggyback, so that if it does, you know how I'm sure everyone in the audience notices how much those piggybacks now stick out there on these new machines. Having those fins will actually help because it gives an added strength in there. But then the other bonus of having those
I'll get to everyone's questions here too. They'll come back momentarily. I think we just we lost
saving some of your.
Yeah, Corey's got a good question there. We'll ask that.
All-terrain's got one that we can ask too.
Yeah, for sure. They'll be back soon. Yeah.
I just also pulled up the pricing. I want to check with the Gen 4 pricing, so I just pulled that up too.
But that is a really good deal. I mean, oh, there you're back. Sorry, we lost.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's like they have a Starlink and it's dropping out.
we're keeping you going. So again, Tyler, start where what you just started saying there to us.
So all of our shocks have this finned reservoir. A lot of the newer sleds, those reservoirs stick out a lot more. And so this finned reservoir will actually help with the strength of the reservoir so it can take a little more of a beating out there. The fins also help with heat dissipation to lower the cavitation of oil that is if it starts to heat up. We can keep our oil temperatures down a lot in a lot better range.
Is that more important on the side-by-side shocks or dirt bike shocks, ATV shocks than it is on snowmobile, or do you get heat generated in a sled shock?
Even as crazy as it sounds, even in the snowmobile world, you do see those temperatures rise, especially if you're on a really rough trail late in the day and you're really working that shock. You're going to start getting heat, a lot of heat in there, and that'll start causing a lot of cavitation, letting air get inside that. And the moment you have that, basically your shock is not going to help you whatsoever.
Right. So then here's a question from Corey. He says, is there a good, better, best option with your products?
So we offer, we just have a straight line of product. All of our product comes with the 5-step, the 5 clicks. As you can see right there, maybe.
I'll get you up there again. Yep. There we go.
So that's our 5-click compression. So all of our shocks come with standard with that 5-click. Reason we chose 5 clicks on compression and on our rebound for snowmobiles was we wanted the shocks to be rider intuitive, so it's easy and people aren't intimidated by the shock to actually make adjustments. But we have noticed that when you only do 3 clicks, the problem starts to be that when you make that adjustment, you actually overstep where you actually want to be. And so that's why we put those intermediates in there as well.
Nice. And then Greg Kelly says, do these shocks need to be serviced every couple of years?
So we recommend, it all depends on the rider and the condition these shocks are going through. But we recommend every 1,500 to 2,000 miles or every 2 to 3 years. Now that could vary greatly based on the rider, but that's kind of industry standard.
I was going to say that's pretty much what the OEMs recommend as well for their shocks. All Terrain TV says, do you sell shocks for trucks, long travel 4Runner, Blazer, Bronco type?
We would love to, but not yet.
Oh, cool.
Focusing on snowmobile right now, and then actually about to launch ATV and UTV also.
Right on, which we have some pictures of. So I wasn't sure if you're already in that or not, but that should be a good. And then LaPointe 800R says, is that cylinder rod bigger than an average shock? Like, is your diameter thicker?
So the shafts on our shocks, it all depends on what the application is, on whether we run a 12, 16, or a 16 millimeter shaft.
They're all hardened chromoly steel though, so for strength.
Right on. Going way back up, what was the one question? All Terrain TV said, would these be comparable to, there it is there. Would these be comparable to, say, a KYB Pro 36 or a 40?
Yes. Yep. These would be comparable to a KYB reservoir shock. They'd be comparable to your Walker Evans, all of those of your normal aftermarket reservoir shocks. We compare when we're doing those other shocks.
Okay, for sure. And the Outdoor Hobby Guy wants to know, what's your take on shock covers? Good, bad, or simply not needed?
Honestly, that's a personal preference thing. My personal opinion on it is I don't use them because I'd rather keep there from being something over top that will keep that snow and ice can pack into. But I do know that some guys like to keep them on there to keep corrosion down.
Yeah, I think if you're hauling your sled on an open trailer, I wouldn't recommend it because you could get salt in behind there.
Yeah,
and it would eat everything up. But yeah, so All Terrain TV says his sled came with shock covers as well. Yeah, so it's like you said, it could be a personal preference. Drew said he's got some on his car.
I have a aftermarket coilovers on my car, and I run shock covers just to keep honestly, it's to keep more than anything stone from chipping the shock towers, like the shock, the dampers hammers and chipping the rod. But I don't know. I get what he's saying about the salt getting under them, but I think if you're tight enough, nothing's going to get in. Salt will be harder to get in. But I don't know. I just clean them every once in a while and take them off. And yeah, I run them on my car, and I noticed a difference after the first year of running them. So
sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Where did the name Len come from?
So during our development process, our owner's father passed away during that time. And in honor of him, we actually chose to name the company after him. His name was Leonard, but we all called him Len.
Oh, neat. That's very nice. And how long has the company been around?
The company's been around for 35 years now, and kind of been working in the suspension field for around 20 years.
Right on. So that leads to Corey's question. Do they make any other products other than shocks? Like what have you been doing for 35 years that I'm just finding out about you now?
So we've been working a lot of in the background of a lot of big brands that we work with. Unfortunately, I can't disclose who they are, but I can tell you that in the snowmobile world, if you've ever bought an aftermarket part, it's very likely you've used one of our parts.
Oh, nice. So you're no stranger to the market, right?
No.
And then as far as your shocks, how many years have they been on the market? Like what you're doing now?
For Lynn, this will be the first year. They're brand new, entering the market this year.
Okay, cool. And is it going well?
Very well, very well. And with that, even though you hear first year of them being released, there's a lot of development behind these shocks. We've been riding these shocks for almost 2 years. We've got people all over the world doing tests for us, making sure that these will take whatever climate and abuse that can be thrown at them.
And in different conditions too. We got guys out west, out in the mountains, riding them in deep powder, getting that testing back on them, and guys in the Midwest and guys overseas in Finland testing too. So
sweet. What do you find the biggest challenges when you're trying to develop an aftermarket snowmobile shock is?
The biggest challenge is finding a good median to make sure that we can fit several different applications of machines. We want to make sure that we can fit as many as we can, but at the same time, we don't want to overreach that and have a poor quality ride on a machine because we were trying to have it be an extra app on a shock.
Right. So is it pretty much the same shock, but different lengths you run? Or like the one question was earlier, do you have one without a piggyback on it, one with, I think they're frozen again. I think it's a good question. We're going to get an answer to it very shortly. Any other questions you guys have, for sure, just fire them
there you
off.
are.
There you go. Yeah. So did you actually hear my question there?
I heard the start of it, so go ahead and ask it. I think I know what you were asking.
Yeah. So is it one shock that you make in different lengths to accommodate the different manufacturers and different snowmobiles, or do you have one shock that maybe not a piggyback and one shock that is a piggyback?
So it all varies. All of our shocks right now are piggybacked for snow. But from one machine to the next, there might be a difference of how we angle the reservoir coming off of that for that application. And while we do have some that will be maybe the same eyelet head, the body will a lot of times be different, or along with the shaft. It all depends from application to application, but we do see a lot of times groups of machines that all of this type of machine have this shock. Usually it's like all these trail machines and then all these mountain machines have this.
True. So if here's one here, Uncle Buck says, do you offer a different spring rate depending on the rider weight?
So we will be offering in the future here a heavy duty spring for us bigger guys like myself. But all of our shocks are designed for with a 180 to a 240 pound guy in mind. That's
Okay.
what we base our shocks at.
But also we have, you know, like all these, our bodies are almost fully threaded. So you can really, there's a lot of adjustment on there for preload for different size and types of riders.
Nice. What's the biggest rider you've had test these things out?
We actually had a guy who was at 300 pounds.
Nice. Right on. Perfect. So you mentioned that some shocks you'll actually make that reservoir hang on a different angle. How does one go about ordering it? Do they get in touch with Len and then you guys say, what sled you putting this on? Tell me about, like, how do you go about ordering it? How do you customize that?
So there's a couple different ways that can be done. One is going to our website, lenperformance.com. We have all of our applications in there we have a search engine that you can actually go in, find your sled, and then we'll tell you if we have a shock for your machine.
And
If
it's kind of splitting off, that is a question about that.
Go ahead.
It's Alternative TV wants to know if you make anything for skewed older than 2012. That's what the site limits to. Could he go off the shock length and the weight of the sled in order like that, or is there too many different things? Do you know?
So that's where our service network really comes into helping with something like that. We don't go back past 2012 right now. In the future, maybe. I don't know. We don't know yet how far back we're going to go. But that being said, our service providers, they can actually help with they have all the information of our eyelet, eye-to-eye lengths, our shaft lengths, all these different variables, and they can actually help with creating a shock or finding the right shock that we might have, but we don't list your application because we haven't tested on that application. We're not going to list it if we don't know that it's going to be a good fit for that machine.
Right. So, like, if you think about the networks, I know the dealer networks, and you have Gamma in Canada that actually is a one of your resellers. Are they educated enough to know about the Len products that you could that the dealer? So you go into, say, Energy POWERSPORTS that has Gamma for some of their products, and you say to Brad at Energy POWERSPORTS counter, I'm looking for a shock for this sled. Does Gamma educate Brad enough to know that what to do with Len, or might they end up in a situation where Brad doesn't have a clue and he'll just put him in a stock shock?
The Gamma, our distributors, we work with them to help them educate their dealers as well, so that they understand how to take care of a shock, someone who's looking for a special shock. Biggest thing is for those guys is if they're looking for something that they don't see on our website, I would tell them to reach out to us as well. And we'll help you walk through that process to be able to get you connected to a deal to one of our distributors, and also start talking to you about, okay, I think this shock will work for you, or sorry, I don't have something that I can work into something for you.
Nice. And that kind of bores off of Chris's question. For Canadians, is it online purchases only, or are there dealers up here? Sorry if the question was already asked. So best bet is for him.
It'll be
I think
both
he's in the
online
Quebec
and dealers.
Yeah, so he's in the Quebec region, so he could reach out to you guys, and then you could put him in the direction of where to buy that from.
Right. Yeah. So again, we would send him in the path of one of our distributors. They would then be able to connect him to someone that he can work with. And again, there are dealers all over Canada, all over the US that are able to buy our product.
Excellent. Now, will we be able to use the coupon code for MUDBRATS? No, that's
anybody in here from the last podcast? I think the word coupon code.
Everybody was bugging for Caliber coupon codes last week.
Yeah.
So
you can drink every time someone says coupon codes.
Well, our product speaks for itself, and our price point is, you don't need a coupon code.
No, that's true. That's right too, right? And should people be worried about the aftermarket service on them? Like, what happens if they do buy it from one of your dealers or distributors, and then that dealer doesn't deal with GAMO or somebody like that overall? Is the warranty through your head office, or is it through the dealer?
So we offer a 1-year manufacturer's warranty, and then after that, all of your rebuilders, all service centers normally offer a 1-year warranty on their process and on their rebuild of the shock. And so you actually won't go through the distributor or even through us for a lot of times if it's been rebuilt, because it'll actually be going through your local rebuilder.
Yeah. And you guys directly sell, do you guys directly sell the rebuild kits on your website, or is that something that you have to go through Gamma to get?
It would be through our distributors, Sun and Snow or Gamma. They will sell those to the rebuilders and to dealers. And you can go to any of our service network centers and they will be able to get you in touch with those.
Awesome. Now, are they going to have good supply and stock on it? So let's say you do need a seal. You're 2 years down the road, you're rebuilding your shock. Is that something that they can get you back on the snow right away?
Yes. Yep. They all have stock of all of the replacement parts.
Yeah. I like Steve here. He says, outdoor hobby guy, Steve. He says, I hate to say, I've never heard of this product. Maybe it's a Quebec thing, but and I'm in the same boat, Steve. Like, I walked by the booth at the Toronto show, and these things were like diamonds in a showcase, and it caught my eye, and I was like, what the hell are these? Like, really beefy, good quality looking shocks. And that's when we started talking, and it's like, and I think my comment to you right away, Tyler, is like, how come I haven't heard of these things before? Because they did. Yeah. So,
and then they said the word heydays, and I don't know.
And no, it's not a Quebec thing; it's a Minnesota thing.
Yeah, that's right. Go. Yeah. So it's good that you're building your brand and you're trying to get out there. It sounds like you're on pace and you're making some inroads. I think that's really good.
They froze up again.
Yeah. We'll ask the one for Chris here about the Grand Touring. Is it because it's the air ride? I bet you it is the fact it's air ride, right?
I have also a question kind of related, but yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. So Chris has got a question. He said he's checking your site and he doesn't see anything for the Grand Touring. Is it because of the air ride suspension system?
We haven't gone into the Grand Touring yet. I can tell you that we are working on some utility machines for the coming year. We just aren't there yet.
Yeah. And I have a similar question to that. I was actually just looking on your website right now because I was just looking at what the price point for my sled is. And when I was looking at basically what his sled is, which is a Gen 5 Skidoo, you guys don't have anything for Raz X or RX Gen 5s yet?
So we're working on checking the crossover of the Gen 4 shocks into a lot of that. So that's one of the things that we are working on currently to make sure that that we have it set correctly, so that we don't go out and say, yep, it fits that Gen 5, and then you take it out and it's not valved right. We want to make sure everything is right.
I saw you guys have shocks for the Summit Gen 5 and and obviously you have a Gen 4 backcountry shock for 2023, and that was the newest. So I just wanted to ask that question for people who still have those sleds.
Yeah,
for sure.
A lot of times, some of why we don't have a certain app is just because we haven't verified and checked that the valving will agree with that machine. We don't want to put a machine out there, put shocks out there for a machine that it doesn't work, and all you put them on there and it just rides super rough. That's not what we're about. We're about quality ride, and that's why we want to make sure every application works with our shock.
Yeah. See, I think what Corey's got right here is it'll be a killer upgrade for my wife's 600 EFI Sport. I think that's where you guys are going to nail this market is those sport model sleds, or you have an older X package or even just an adrenaline Skidoo that has just non-rebuildable HPG on it, and you can just get into a Len for the price of buying a used shock. I'm just looking at the prices there, and I've seen guys selling used KYBs for the price of what your new ones are.
Yeah. We actually one of the guys here in our office, he has a MXZX, and we actually were using his machine for a tester, testing some of the shocks, and it's night and day when you take the old KYBs off and you put ours on. Night and day to the performance that you'll see.
Yeah, and you know what? I had a 2022 with the KYB X package, and they removed the bottom. That was
they removed the top is
the top's compression, the bottom's
rebound.
Rebound. So they moved the rebound adjuster on them. They took it right off the shock, so it's like you couldn't even adjust it, and you've got both on your shocks, and it's like that type of application is wild.
Not to mention that all the new KYB clickers are only 3 position, and you guys have 5 as well.
Yep.
Which a lot of people aren't necessarily like the common rider who doesn't care about how their shocks are set up, but they'll buy the XRS every year, doesn't care that it's a 3 position. But the person that's actually in the market for wanting to have an amazing shock package does care that they have all the adjustability in the world. So that's good to see.
Why do you guys think that the manufacturers have done that? Have they took like a 22 position clicker and they've turned it into a 3 position? What do you think the rationale is on that?
So the rationale is similar to what we believe of making it rider intuitive. So making it simple for the rider so that he can adjust it very quickly to try and make it as easy as possible to conform to the environment that he's in. With ours, we did that with 5 clicks because we see that 3 is not really that great because it's too big of a span from that super soft to the super hard. It's too big of a span that you will, for certain conditions, you'll overclick. You'll put your step 1 too far, and now it's gonna ride too rough. And so
so there's no in between. So you're either not happy or you're on either side of the scale if you can't get it right.
Exactly.
Yeah, very cool.
But actually, the exact same issue happens to me with having the 22 position. I have the 2018 XRS, the 22 position shocks. I don't have time to be sitting on the side of the trail counting my shock number as I'm adjusting on 4 different shocks. Come on, Skidoo. Like, and then I get it. It's nice to be able to, I can fine tune the top and bottom, but 22 positions is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's also really hard when your buddy's behind you trying to screw it with you and 5, 8, 4, 3.
We all run intercoms. So you imagine that when you have someone constantly talking in your ear, in your helmet, and you're trying to, and they're already mad at you because you're off your sled adjusting your shocks. Like, Yeah.
And we make it simple and put the numbers right on the adjuster.
Oh yeah, I saw that at the
you
show.
can
I
just
really
look
like
at
that.
it.
The numbers are on it too. Yeah, that's wild.
You don't have to count.
You don't have to count clicks.
Yeah. Is that an aluminum knob too, or is that plastic
Yes.
on the top?
Yeah. So that's
so-
one big advantage to us too, is we don't use any plastic parts on the adjusters or the retainers. Everything's anodized aluminum.
Yeah, my 2012 X package had the knobs broken. They cracked, and then one was broken. So,
Yeah, and that's one of the big problems we see on some of these is that the
Yeah, I'll ask that question about the smart shocks
there
too.
we go.
There, outdoor hobby guy. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry that you just start where you finished there. Steve.
no part like you were saying, you had broke off the knobs off of your shocks, and with having plastic knobs.
No, he doesn't like the plastic knob word, I guess.
Self-censoring. Hey, Chris Watson's got it freeze, right?
Yeah, freeze mode.
You know what? You know what really doesn't like cold temperature?
Yeah.
Plastic.
We've been actually really doing good with the internet connections this year. It's I'm not sure whether I got new internet a week ago, and I'm not sure if this is the problem or what. But yeah, glad they don't make funny faces when they freeze up. Yeah, we know it. They should be back momentarily. Is it us that's is it me and Drew freezing, or is it Len freezing?
No, I'm watching the playback.
We're clear. Yeah,
they dropped out.
We'll
have to look into 3D printing some EA knobs, with red filament. We could actually 3D print those.
Denon
MUDBRATS
had one
logos.
Denon had one for the
We could
Smart
do like
Shock scratchers last year.
Okay.
He made up. Yeah.
Could do
It's
like
Len freezing, sadly. Denon says, yeah, for sure. So we are good. Here they're
trying
back
again.
now. We're
We're
gonna
back.
try it again.
That's
Okay. That's all right.
Sorry about the internet.
tell your coworkers in the other room to take the adult film off the TV.
I know. Dude.
Must be.
Every time you freeze, you owe someone in the chat a shock. It's like the bell ringing on the Christmas movie.
Oh, I'm I'm ending the stream then. It's done.
Yeah. So
Permanent freeze.
But,
so anyway, the plastic knobs.
Yeah. So with a plastic knob over time, that's going to fatigue, and it's got that heating and cooling cycle that's going to make it really brittle. With ours, it's all aluminum, so you're not going to have that wear out of the actual knob itself. And also, if something does hit it, it's going to be able to take that impact in a lot better way.
Yeah, yeah. You know, like when I seen it at the show, I didn't know what the price point was before this podcast started. I would have thought they were priced more like an Alka, not, competitive with an OEM or less. You know what I mean? Like it's, especially with that kind of quality manufacturing and products on there. Do you ever think that you're not selling them for a high enough price?
Don't give them any ideas. Oh, they froze up again.
Yeah, they're frozen again.
Tough one.
I'm going to ask the smart shot thing too, because it's nice to have questions like that, like what Steve's asking here for shock guys. Like if you guys have anything that's even not product related, make sure you put it in the chat and ask, because for sure we can get that on the floor. So yeah, I think you're being censored with the plastic knob wording.
I must be.
I think so. Yeah.
I think they thought you were talking about the Ken doll. Who knows? Here's something Steve, outdoor hobby guy, asked. He says it's a little bit off topic, but what are your feelings about Skadoosh Smart Shocks?
Or Polaris Dynamics would be the same boat.
I think it's a great I think it's a great concept. The being only able to go to 3 settings, again, you start throwing it over too far. But for the person who doesn't want to get off the sled, it does make it a little more able to be adjusted and you don't have the other guys in your group yelling at you.
Yeah, that's right.
But they're expensive. That's the big, you're going to pay for that, at the dealership, where you can buy our shocks and you can maybe buy a lower price sled, that doesn't have the performance shocks on it, and then take it to a service center like Accelerated, who you guys had on, buy the Len shocks and get them perfectly tuned to yourself.
Nice.
Yeah, he's got a friend of his that does that. Would go and get the Stage 4 Elkas. He'd buy he wouldn't get he'd get an MXZ X, not an XRS, so then he could just because he's gonna put better shocks on it, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And again, by putting like a set of our shocks on an X, you do almost increase it to being an XRS with the quality of ride that you get.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think the regular XRS, not Smart Shock version, that's a better shock than what the factory has on it. Because again, no rebound adjustment on them, right? So you've got a compression knob, no rebound knob. So yeah, it's even the rear skid shocks. That's what John was saying from Accelerated. Is he sells a knob that you can add onto it for I think $18, but from the factory it doesn't come with it, right? Which is crazy. Where yours would. That'd be great. Yeah, it's a neat product that you have, and it's kind of neat to hear about it and all the see the inside of it with that cutaway you've got there. You want to get into some fan photos, and we'll go through some more of your product shots, and we'll talk more about your products. And it looks like you're doing some passions with us and stuff. So I'll roll that, and we'll get right on with this.
You're on the wrong thing.
No, I got it. We'll get it here.
Not just us with the technical difficulties.
No, I got so many buttons and screens to click on. It's not funny, but here we're going to get right to it. Fan photos are brought to you by Fast Track Snowmobile Traction. This season, quit sliding sideways on the ice and losing races to your buddies. A Fast Track stud kit will help you with improved braking and give you the arm-ripping acceleration you crave. I put over 3,000 clicks last season on my Renegade 850, and I'll tell you, these studs exceeded my expectations. Not one broken stud, my idle wheels still look like new, and they hooked up like I was on rails in the twisties, inspiring confidence every ride. Fast Track Top Gun kits are the highest rated stud kit at 4.9 stars with over 230 reviews. The studs are heat treated stainless, so they are strong and they don't rust. The kit is lighter, easier on the track, and has a lifetime warranty against breaking. Each kit comes with a track-specific template for complete balance with over double the scratch lines from stock templates. All listeners when purchasing a stud kit can get a free install kit, a $30 value. Visit fasttrack.co, add both products to the cart, and use the coupon code SNOW at the checkout. That's fasttrac.co. Right on. So here we go here.
Oh, I'm in control. Okay, so we're gonna.
Oh, where's my sheet right here?
I'm starting off with my photos anyways.
Oh, okay, you go ahead then.
Move your head. So at Energy Power Sports Open House, I finally acquired myself a set of the elusive lava red colored handguards. Thanks, Skidoo, for making those the hardest to find part in your catalog. Energy Power Sports does have them in stock. I think they have another set if anybody's still looking for them. So yeah, they've really helped my sled look a lot better than it did before. And look at those LED signal guards too, all lit up. Just add some to it. I got a little more lava red to put on this. I think this week I'm going to get that done. We'll have a little video out on what that's going to be.
When did you get the Yamaha here?
Oh, and look, it's always behind the Skidoo as well. Weird that. I thought you were about to point out, oh, you can't see my new impact gun in my toolbox in that shot, but there we go. So it just adds a little more flair to it. And yeah, I got a little special package from B Power to throw on my sled in next week as well. Hopefully before this, I want to get that on because if we get snow this weekend, I'm taking it out in the yard and we're gonna make her dangle.
Yeah.
All right, getting into the photos now of the fans.
Okay, so this is Luke Brueggemann. Sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, but he says, "Hey Gary, it's Luke from Wisconsin. I've been watching your show for a few years. I first came across the show when I had Chris from Fast Track on. He's had Fast Track on 3 of his sleds and loves them. He said, speaking of studding, I just picked up my 2025 RXC 858. So this is like a second catalyst we've had on the show, I think. The other photo is his favorite sled he ever owned, and he still owns it. It's a 2011 CFR 800 with a Speedworks pipe and clutching. That's a beautiful sled. The thing is a rocket. He looks forward to the podcast every week. He works a 3rd shift, so he doesn't listen to it live, because otherwise I think I would crack a cold one. Well, and he says, cheers, Luke. Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming in, and you can crack a cold one after the show plays, and you get home from work. And then Mike Ashby sent me these last week when the show was on with Caliber. If you ever see that trailer rolling down the road, make sure you give him a honk. And he just wanted to show everybody his Caliber products he's got inside that trailer, along with some sweet sleds he's got in there. Yeah. So, and then Odie, the sled and car guy, says, the sled and truck guy now, he says, getting ready for the season. Hopefully we'll get more snow than last year. He's a big player in the big volunteer for the Hill and Gully riders in Port Sydney area. And this is a couple shots from his groomer shack. So thank you for your volunteership, Odie. And he's been doing that for a few years. Make sure they groom these trails this year. Last year they didn't open, Odie. So tell them that the Port Sydney free rider here and MUDBRATS Gary needs some riding this year with Odie. We got to get our fix in. But yeah. So they got some beautiful groomers.
Oh, man.
This is Massart. He says he's kicking it old school. The Diction has been going strong since 2002, when my dad took home a 1997 Mach Z, on the hunt for one. So don't be surprised if I come home for one
is that
soon.
Jacob sitting on it right now too?
Probably is.
Oh, yeah. Man.
The other picture is my brother on a 91 Mach 1. His sister's on a 617. Sorry. So this is the other one. So that's his dad.
Oh, it's just in reverse order. What the heck? Why can't you ever go back? Sorry, guys. There. So there. The pictures are out of order. But so
his brother's on the Mach 1.
So the one in the back.
That's the one in the very back.
Full
his
wedge.
Sister's on the 99 MXZ 440,
nice.
Which is also pretty sweet. And he's on the 97 Mach Z.
Yeah.
Probably taken in 2004-ish. So that's pretty wild. So I love these old photos. You cannot recreate these photos. Like, I love that shot. Look at that.
A staple of the Skidoo like F chassis, the snow flap getting sucked under the track every time it goes off the ground. You try to find a mint snow flap for any used high mile F or S chassis.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. And then Chris Watson, he's been great every week sending us photo. Chris, we love it. We love you. And
Massart's got some competition of photos, eh?
Oh, yeah. Where's Wisco? He hasn't sent us in anything lately, Ever since he built his house, he's got no time. Chris says, hey, Gary, Drew, Corey, and everyone on the call. MUDBRATS, looking forward to seeing your videos in 2025. Gary, it's funny watching things fall out of your bags until it happened to me. I ended up getting a call from a city worker who found my wallet on the road. That added an extra hour to my ride. Here's a few photos from last season. Oh my God.
See, it happens to everybody. It happened to you because it happened to me.
Yeah. It happens to the best. Look at this part. This looks awesome. That's what snowmobiling is all about right there.
That's what we're missing at lodge sessions.
Exactly.
We're gonna with an HT.
Wherever that is, Chris, let us know. That's where we're booking lodge.
Looks like this was in Quebec because it has snow.
You guys,
last season.
Welcome back, boys.
Sorry, we're trying a different internet provider.
Oh, perfect. That sounds good. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, Chris watching to send us in a bunch of pictures and look at the snow they're getting.
This must have been last year in Quebec.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's the 70K an hour.
I wish we had snow like that on our trails all the time. That's pretty
That's
sweet.
it for fans. All right.
Yeah, so perfect timing to come back, guys, and get your internet fixed. It's your part of the fan photos now. All right, so
you're up first.
Well, that's not good. These are in no particular order either, by the way, guys. It's just I tried to group all your product shots together, but this stuff here I just put in. So What are we looking at here?
So that was me and my buddies up in northern Wisconsin riding, and my buddy actually just bought it, like a newer 1000 XP Ranger, and one of my other buddies wanted to drive, so he got in the driver's seat, and not two miles down the trail, he went off like a small bridge and like snapped the lower ball joint, and the tire was just hanging there. So we had to use the winch and make a little pulley system to get it back to the road.
That's ingenuity, though. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It looks like you took out the bridge sign as well. Is that why that's in the backseat of the Jenny?
Oh
the
yeah.
Bridge approach sign getting knocked over and that. Nice.
Oh,
good for the wall. Oh, nice.
More pictures of that.
Yeah.
That's the solution of getting home.
We made it back.
Nice. So when you do your side-by-side shocks, your UTV shocks, are you focusing on one brand, or are you're gonna dabble in a few different models?
We're gonna dabble in kind of everything. We're kind of focused more on the utility side just to start. We're seeing more and more guys take these Rangers and Defenders and Pioneers out on the trail and putting hard miles on them. And the suspension that comes from the factory is just really not adequate. It's not adjustable. So we're kind of starting there. And then we're also doing some sport machines too. We got shocks for the Razor 1000 XP, 14 to current. So that's a pretty sweet shock. It's beefy. It's got both high and low speed compression on that and rebound. So
it's the big shock sitting behind us.
yeah, I don't know if you can see that. It's like
right on. Yeah, we can just slide you over if you want to pull.
Oh yeah. And that's for so you're saying 2014 to current XP 1000. Is that just XP, or is that also Pro and Turbo S as well?
Not Pro and Turbo S. That'll be coming in the near future.
Yeah, sweet. That's good.
So we got a couple oldies here.
So that's my Jag and ZR 800. I've kind of been, I don't know, I like to tinker with my hands and fix everything I can. So one of my hobbies is buying stuff on Facebook Marketplace that doesn't run, and then trying to get it to run, flipping it, and hopefully not losing too much money in the process.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people's in here in the chat's favorite hobby.
I think it's all power sport guys have a little bit of that in them.
Yeah, for sure. How long is it going to take you to fabricate a couple lens shocks for these bad boys?
Oof, I don't know. I think we can get something to work.
There's already. I'm already working on something for my older sleds. So
that's awesome. Sorry. He needs some shocks for his Defender Limited. Is that in the list of UTVs?
That'll be here next spring. They'll be available. Yeah, we'll have both.
Awesome.
That's great.
5-click compression and 5-click rebound.
Yeah, great.
Oops.
He's getting you just yelling you.
That was actually my first trip up to the UP in Michigan snowmobiling. I think 3 or 4 years ago now. I took a short track up there, an MXZX 129, and it was great for the trails, but we got pounded like the first night we were there, and we went off the trail and got stuck way more than we should have, but had a lot of fun.
And then it's funny you say that it's funny you say that you're on a short track. A guy in the chat tonight, Jacob Massart, he had a 2018 MXZ XRS 129 that he put I think it was 1 3/4 track, and he went up to the UP with buddies, was playing the backcountry, and said it was actually a pretty capable sled with the right track and right suspension setup on it.
Sure, yeah.
Oh yeah. You set them up right, they'll go most anywhere.
I think it's the player's jacket that got you stuck, actually.
Yeah, MXZ or Skidoo sled with the player's jacket. Yeah,
it was Robin horsepower. Robin horsepower.
That is
a little bit
deep.
of a flash.
That is deep. Whoa. This is a UP again.
Yeah, that's the same trip. We just got pounded the one night with snow, and it was so much fun the next day. But You couldn't get off the throttle when you got in the deep stuff, or else you were digging yourself out for 30 minutes.
Yeah, although there's 2 sleds that are brutally stuck. I mean, you're going to be there a while.
Yeah. And they're doing this with tall windshields and everything. It's full trail sleds. Like they're not. No prep.
Yeah, I love it. Leave them there. Leave them there till spring.
Yeah.
Go get them with the side by side. Oh, cool.
Here we go.
So that was this last March I went out. It was actually my buddy's bachelor party. He wanted to go to Sedona, Arizona, and we rented side-by-sides for a day. And if you get a chance to go out there and like the Red Rock in Sedona and go ride, do it, because it's an amazing place to adventure. You get to see so much country.
It's funny you mentioned that, because my mom, his wife, was talking about doing a trip to Sedona to see the canyon, and I think the word side-by-side rentals were muttered.
I'm
saving this photo.
Yeah, it's wild. Like I definitely want to do that. I see so many videos on it and guys riding dual sports in that area, and it's like it just looks so sick, man.
Imagine driving down there and taking the 89 DT
on these Sedona, on these, the rad fluid gurgling the whole time, overheating. How wild did it let you get with these things? Like how crazy trails did they let you take it on?
We could take them anywhere, any trail system we could go on, and there's some pretty technical trails there with like some steep terrain that you got to be a little experienced to get over, because you can definitely get into some trouble. So it's an adventure for sure.
That is cool. Yeah, definitely. It looks fake. The background there.
It's not fake.
Like you're in you're in a studio or at your office in the showroom.
Like this looks like showroom. You're saying that this looks like promotional, like a promotional
it does
style picture. Like this is what players put on their website when they come out.
Yeah, for sure.
I love this. Yeah.
So that was actually my first sled I bought. I think I was 14 years old. I worked all summer mowing lawns, and I saved up $1,650 to buy this sled. So 2000.
So what year? That's a 2002, isn't it?
Oh, he just dropped out.
He's frozen again. Everyone in the chat, guess what year sled this is? Massart's gonna get.
It's an 02. It's an 02 or an 01.
Yeah, I think it's an 02 with that graphic on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, they had black around the eyes in 01, I think.
Yeah, 01
right?
was what was Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah, Dirty Sanchez. Yeah, so 02 would be, I think, is when they had this color.
Yeah, buy the extra insurance.
Side-by-sides are all fun and game till you realize your deductible is the same as your car.
Yeah. Yeah. They're talking about Truro, Quebec and stuff, and sleds being stolen and everything. And I've heard of that too. I heard a few sleds being stolen from that area as well. There we go.
Sorry.
What year is that sled?
It was a 2000 MX.
It was a 2000. We were both wrong. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Corey says, nice looking sled for sure. And did you end up wrecking that sled, or did you end up keeping it in a good enough shape to sell it? Are they froze again?
Nope, there we are.
They changed the internet, but it was there. We are perfect. Did you end up keeping that sled in good enough condition to sell it, or as a 14-year-old, did you trash it?
I trashed it. I rolled it, I think, twice. I ran it out of oil once, which didn't go well.
Yeah, that usually does.
Blew it up. But it was fun while it lasted.
Nice. Well, you got your money's worth out of it anyway.
Got a general getting after it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was actually in northern Minnesota too, at a ride event up here. I went on and it was perfect. Trail conditions were amazing. We got a bunch of rain the one night, so it was a nice muddy ride.
Yeah, cool. Do you own the side-by-side, or is this a rental again?
This was a rental.
Yeah, right on.
Oh, that's me. So those are the front two are what my wife and I ride.
Oh, cool.
the Black Magic, that's actually a M6000 that I've modified to be more of a trail machine. It's 153. And so what I actually do with it, what I actually did is I put the 42-inch front end on it. And then I took the rear suspension and tightened it up a little bit to help with leaning it in for the cornering.
And are you running a low paddle track on that, or do you still have the mountain track?
It's got a paddle track.
Mountain track. I run with the
Like a
mountain
2-inch,
track.
right? Is that a 2-inch?
2 1/4.
Nice.
Right on.
So if anyone gets behind me and I'm not happy about it, they know.
Did you put a flap on it, a snow flap?
Yep, it's got the snow flap and everything. I've got the longer snow flap on it. I actually made it where I can switch out or completely take off my flap.
Oh, nice.
With literally simply 3 bolts. I take 3 bolts and I can take the completely off for going out in the mountains. Yeah, and then that's my wife's Pantera 3000, which is an absolute Cadillac. She absolutely loves that thing like none other.
It looks good. And there's a Riot back there in the background, eh?
Yep. This was we were up on the North Shore riding, and this was a lunch break. This
nice.
was lunch, and so we pulled in, and 2 other guys pulled up behind us with a matching pair of brand new rides that they had literally picked up from the dealer the day before.
That's cool. And then the Pantera 300, that's 3,000. That's a 300 cc, is it?
That's a 700 cc 4-stroke.
Okay. Why is it 300? Is it as a name?
Arctic Cat's weird numbering system.
Yeah.
It's Arctic Cat's weird numbering system. That's why it's a 300.
Yeah. Corey's busting you for no lens shocks on any of them.
Well, I can tell you actually that green one has them on. It's actually sitting in my garage with lens shocks on it right now, and we're actually developing more shocks for some of these machines that you see in these pictures as well.
Right on.
So that was another trip with that. That's that same sled, that M6000. And that's it. If you look out in the distance of it, that's actually Lake Superior.
Oh, sweet.
So that's up on the North Shore. North Shore is one of my favorite places to go riding. I absolutely love riding up there. Great. It's best time to go ride up there is about 7:30 to 8 a.m. And my wife and I have gone up there riding quite a few times. And there's times that we've been up there riding. We'll go 40, 50 miles with pure groomed trails, not a track on them in the morning. 2 years ago, we were up there riding, and we went 55 miles with not another sled in sight. And during that 55 miles, we actually ran it into 3 moose.
Right on. I love that. That's a good moose mileage ratio.
we thought so.
Yeah.
All I heard on my communicator was moose, moose, moose.
Right on. I ride like 2,000 to 3,000 kilometers a year, and I rarely see a moose. We see maybe 1 moose a year. The 1 year we went with Corey, I didn't see him, but he's seen 2 or 3 the ride we were out. But yeah.
Yeah, this is that same trip with those sleds. In this one, you can really see that wide stance on the M. But
yeah, nice.
That's Lake Superior again out in the background.
Right on. You needed that sled there, Bo. You needed that one in the UP for those shots, I think.
I know, I did. I really did.
Yeah. So funny story about me riding that big sled is that long sled is one time we were up on the North Shore, and there was a kid like Bo with a little short track, thought he could go in the deep stuff, and had that same buried nose up. And there's about 6 or 7 guys just looking at him from the trail going, I'm not going to get him. And everyone looked at me with the long track and goes, well, you can get out there. So of course I have to go out, help the guy out. And as I'm helping him out, he decides to just gun it and just fills my helmet full of snow. And so I get back on my sled. I go pull back onto the trail with no effort with that big TRAC, and I pull up beside the guy, and I just start cleaning out my goggles, and his back was to me, and his buddy just points over at me like, you powdered him.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
It sounds like a familiar story. Something that happened last season.
That's right. Jerry Darville says, do you make shocks for the Sidewinder?
So we don't list them for the Sidewinder due to weight. We're currently working on trying to get that all finalized so that we can make sure that they're valved right for the weight of that machine plus rider.
Yeah. Is it valving or spring, or is it a combination of both that you have to take into consideration?
There's a lot of different things you got to take in consideration. The valving, the spring rate. You also have to take into consideration how much ice is going to build up on that machine, because as time goes, you want to make sure you can still have be able to hold the machine right, even if there's extra weight of ice.
Right. So if you're talking about developing these things to come, what kind of a time frame do you think, or do you have a projection on when Len thinks that, okay, we are going to have a full line of shocks or almost a full offering by this year? Like, what does your forecast look like?
We're shooting for in the next 5 years to really get a larger list of applications that we can fully outfit. And what I mean by that is all four shocks on the machine. Right now we have about 50 to 100 that we can fully outfit the machine, and we have almost another 200 that we can at least put one shock on.
Okay, so when you say one shock, are you talking a rear shock, or
yeah,
are you talking like, okay, and you have a lot of options for the fronts, from what I understand. Is that correct? Yeah.
And so there's a lot of machines that right now we only have front shocks for that machine.
Right.
But again, I can tell you right now, there's several machines that we're in the next year that we're going to be filling out that application that you'll have all four for that machine.
Oh, that's great. I love to hear that. Is it wise just to replace your fronts and not the rears, or should people wait and replace it all as a complete set?
You can. It's all personal preference. I know some guys that will will fix out just the fronts because they've got blown front shocks and the rears are still holding well. It's all dependent on your personal preference of how you want to. And honestly, for some guys, it might be that the first year they buy the fronts, the second year they buy the rear, just for the simple price to save money and to make it easier to get into the new shocks.
Sure. Good point. Sorry. Ooh.
So this was during one of our photo shoots that we were out riding and doing some of our testing.
Yeah, nice. What is that? That's a Polaris?
That's a switchback assault. That's an 850.
See, guys in the chat, I'm getting better with Polaris stuff. I don't even think I was just like, I think I had a comment one of the rides. I'm like, switchback assault, boost, Patriot, slash chaos. Like, it's a word jungle with those guys.
Yeah, and you have that all the time too, which is really cool.
Are those the panels off that sled above you guys there? Or what are those panels behind you? Did they freeze? Oh, they froze.
I think it froze up again. I think maybe Bo crashed the sled, and that's the panels off the crash sled.
Oh,
who knows?
There we go.
There we go. We're back.
No, Drew was asking what those panels are above you guys.
Those are for a razor.
Oh, okay. They're the door panels.
Yep. Door and hood.
And that little one's the hood, how they have like a little V trapezoid hood thing. Okay, yeah.
Yep, those are for our machine.
Yeah, we recently got a 24 with Gen 2 Razor 1000 XP and did a lot of testing on that this last summer. So.
Nice. I can't wait to see you guys grow. I think this is great to have you on the ground floor and see the progress of this company.
Ooh, good picture.
It's pretty exciting. Yeah, this is a great shot.
They get about 15 or 10 good minutes. Oh, wait, they're back.
Yeah, they're here.
We're still here. We're still here.
Yeah. Yeah. So are these shots you use on your website and brochures? Is that what the
Yeah. Some of these photos are what we're using for our different marketing some of our marketing material. Yeah. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I think the shows are probably your big thing that you have to get people to see and feel these things to appreciate them, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Heydays was a major success for us. We had so much traffic in the booth and a lot of really knowledgeable industry experts and rebuilders in there, and we could show them like the exhaust or the shock cutouts, and we have see-through shocks behind there, and it was just really, really cool and educational for a lot of people too, just to explain to them like how a shock actually works. And, you know, a lot of people don't know how they actually work. So it was pretty cool to explain that and educate them.
Do you want to give us the tour now? Like, do you have one of the shocks that you can do that little presentation for us?
You want to do it? So this is one of our see-through shocks. It's just basically for demonstrating how a shock works. So what you have is you have your shock body, your bridge from body to reservoir. And then inside your reservoir, you have basically two chambers to it. You have above the floating piston and then below the floating piston. Below the floating piston is where you charge it with like nitrogen gas. Then above is the oil that is displaced from the main shock body. So as you compress it, you'll see that they're adding in more oil into this side and compresses out all that oil. Then as you release it, of course, this one freezes up on me. So as you release it, it then re-expands, and that's what's actually pushing your shock shaft back down into your fully. And so if you only had just a monotube shock, all the stuff that's over here in the reservoir would also have to be inside this main body. And so what happens is you actually lose a lot of shaft length and travel that you can have. That's why you want to get reservoired, is because you'll actually increase your amount of travel.
Right. And that's the thing. That's why you have a piggyback on, like, say, an XRS, is that it gives you more travel.
Yep. Exactly. And to explain like the compression a little bit more, basically all that it's doing is there's a valve or like an orifice in here that's changing sizes to allow more or less fluid to go into your IFP or your reservoir.
It's all about the fluid dynamics of how quickly it lets fluid come across.
Right. So when somebody's revalving a shock, what are they typically doing with that?
So what they're doing is they're changing out the shims. So these are what shims look like. It's simply a very thin piece of like a washer, basically.
Yeah.
And so you have a stack of them. And so depending on how you stack those shims, you can adjust how the oil will flow through the valve. And you can make it either flow faster, you can make it hold back oil more. there's multiple ways that just adjusting the thickness of those shims can change how well it holds a different rider's weight or will rebound in a different manner.
So it's all about tailoring it. So it's not just about weight. It could be about, if you ride aggressively or you race like snowcross, you need that valving change. So, and my understanding is when you hear stage 3, it just means it's for a piggyback shock, right? Stage 1's got no piggyback. Stage 2 is just the compression, and stage 3 is the piggyback with compression and rebound. Is that true? Is that how it works?
For Elkas, yeah, that would be on their levels. That would be how they do that. For us, all of our shocks have the compression, and while our ski shocks are the ones that have the rebound.
So ours would be comparable to like an Elka stage 3, and the fronts would be comparable to like an Elka stage 4.
Right on. Nice. We'll put you that was a great tour there. I appreciate that. We're gonna put on to the next photo here. Just bear with me, Drew. Yeah, so we got a couple comments here. Denon says he's got to run, but have a great evening. Great looking shocks, very nice. Outdoor Hobby guy says, honestly, that looks like a well-built and solid shock. And I think Corey had actually said the same thing.
Definitely a nice looking shock.
Definitely a nice looking shock, and very sharp. It grabs your attention is what
we literally carry around a shock when we go to shows and when go to dealers and stuff. I take a shock body, one of our shock bodies, and I'm still trying to find a shock machine that our shocks don't look good with. Because again, there are so many colors of the rainbow in snowmobiles, but literally I've yet to find one that our shock color scheme doesn't complement.
That's cool. Like that's the thing. I think they'd look really good on a Mach Z or something like that too. And like you said, on any sled, they're just an aggressive looking shock. I swear, like I walked by, I wouldn't have thought they were so affordable, How does shocks on that last picture though? How do the shocks help you with your wheelies?
You can turn them down and you can pick up the skis pretty easy.
If you know what you're doing, it's not hard.
Yeah, I tore the back flap off the MXZX here. Having a little too much fun.
Bo sounds like he's a perfect test pilot for these things.
Yeah, between the two of us, we're pretty. We make sure that they're well tested, and there's no question that they can take some abuse between the two of us.
Yeah,
love it. Is this a Firecat, an F7?
F5.
F5. Right
that was a sled I had. I absolutely loved the Firecat chassis. It was one of my favorite machines I ever had. That was actually on a trip I had to Eagle River, Wisconsin, up to the Hall of Fame. And so we went up there with all those with a lot of guys to give them the first experience of seeing the Snowmobile Hall of Fame. And if you've never been to Eagle River, it's a great town and great experience. They call themselves the world capital of snowmobiling. You can literally ride right up to McDonald's on your sled.
Right on. We do that in the summertime.
I do that. I do that in the middle of the summer.
Nice.
That's possible too.
That's nothing. We call Paris the snowmobile capital. No, that's very cool. I love that. I've heard a lot about Eagle River. It's it's neat.
Oh, what is that?
Oh, nice.
So that's that same Firecat, and then the other sled there. That's that sled's nickname was Frankenkitty.
Frankenkitty, nice.
Yeah. So I've always been after trying to have a really good ride on a machine.
Jacob says very well built shocks. He's got them on a complete set himself. And I just asked him what sled he's put them on.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
So that's Frank and Kitty, and I've always been very big on having a good riding machine.
Oh, we lost him again.
Give him a second.
Yeah. He always comes back.
It doesn't want me to talk about Frank and Kitty.
No, you're getting censored here. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this.
But so we actually, what that machine was it was a ZR600, and what I did is I went and got a twin spar rear suspension and put it in that machine.
Right on.
So it got the nickname of Frank and Kitty because it was half this, half that, half of another machine, and but it rode like a couch. It was a great ride, and but that really sparked and started my obsession with having a good riding machine.
Right on. You've always been a cat man. Like what's your philosophy on that?
I bleed green. I bleed green.
Yeah. Right on.
My whole family is big in snowmobiling. My brother, my dad, they're in organized snowmobiling. And we always had Arctic cats. I still actually own the first cat I rode. It was a Jag 340, 1975. So it was little handlebars and two guys can lift it into the back of a pickup. So
yeah, right on. So what's your take on the Arctic Cat letter that came out a couple weeks ago, or do you prefer not to comment?
You know, they're doing what they need to do to make sure they can survive and keep moving forward as a manufacturer. They're seeing that there's too many machines out there for the off-road side right now, and they're seeing that all of their dealers are full, and so they're going, you know what? Let's move forward a year. Let's work on our designs and refine them even more for the next year, and then we'll come back with the off-road side. They've done this. They've had years like this for snow before. They called them the gone fishing years. So
right on.
It's just it's not the snowmobile side that went fishing this time. It was the four-wheelers.
Right. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, it's interesting to hear from, because you hear a lot of people panicking, saying, "Oh, there goes another brand," and it's like, well, you know what? They're just, all the brands have laid off, especially this year was a tough sales year in the spring. Yeah. So I'm hoping they rebound and they come back better than ever.
Yeah, and the thing you got to think about is they wouldn't have released the 858 if they were going under. They want to release the Callus chassis if they were going under. They're just setting themselves up to make the best of a rough market currently.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so this is a neat how reservoir shocks work, and I mean you explain it to us a bit. Is there anything new in this photo that we haven't that we didn't touch on?
No, Nope. There's no. We went through all the different parts and everything.
Yeah, that's cool. I love being able to see it on that demo model there. So then here's your features. If you want to go through some of those, if you've actually got the shock there, I mean, I can get you on the screen larger here.
Yeah. So the features of our shock. First, our big one is, so to start with, we have 5-step compression on all snowmobile shocks with 5-step rebound on our ski shocks. Our reservoirs are the fin tube, like we were saying, for increased strength and heat dissipation. All aluminum parts, including heads, body, and reservoir, along with our adjusters and knobs. everything is anodized aluminum, including inside of the shock body and reservoir to help with wearing, prevent wear to the seals and everything that's inside.
Does that help that valve move up and down better too, being
It does.
anodized?
It does help with it.
Right on. And then 5-step adjustable compression, we talked about there.
Yep.
There you can see the numbers on the knob.
Yeah.
You can see the numbers on the knob with a little indicator arrow.
And it's amazing what one step of having those intermediates change that you can really fine tune for as you go through a day, depend on a ride. I do anywhere between 100 to 120 miles in a day is what I like to do. And literally I've gone from going on those, making it nice and soft in the morning to ride on that concrete ribbon from the groomers to, by the end of the day, I'm at 5 because it's getting pretty hilly and moldly, and it starts to be where you need to sort of take the impact out.
Now, are you adjusting that just on the top, the piggyback, or do you have to do both?
So you can adjust just if you want to leave your rebound at a 3 all day, you can do it. It's not really the recommended way to do that. We sort of recommend to set them in line with each other. I want to have a quick, I want it to be harder dampening. Well, if you have a harder dampening, you want to get that spring, you want to get it re-extended quickly so that it then will take the next impact. Because what you're doing then is you're going through a lot of larger bumps. And so you want it to absorb it, but you want to get ready for the next bump.
So if you have a higher number on the top, you want a lower number on the bottom, so to speak. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So they don't move together. So it's not like you go from 3 to 5 on both top and bottom.
Nope.
You might go 5 on the top, but down to 2 or 1 on the bottom.
Exactly.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. And do you have resources on your website that talks about setting up shocks, or where did they get that information from?
Yeah, so we have a lot of resources on our websites, from articles and technical information to tech tips, and we're working on adding more videos of like how to set up a machine and how to what adjustments to make for certain conditions and trail conditions, and even riding styles, and for aggressive riders or non-aggressive riders.
Nice. And what was your website again? What was your website address again? Here, I'll just dig it up here. I was on it there the other day. It's lenperformance.com. I'll just post it up here in the chat. For everyone to see. Yeah, All Terrain TV. Where do you get all your sleds for R&D? Can I send mine in? Yeah, so that's a website to go visit for the tips. I'm gonna have to check that out. But yeah, there's a good picture of their shock. Like it's a nice looking piece of kit, as they say.
I love all the anodized. The bronze and black is a good colorway as well.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Definitely caught my eye at the show. That's for sure. Hopefully they'll come back here soon. I don't know that we missed any questions. We'll just go
and I don't know if, obviously, because there's actually just a comment about their name too. I don't know if it was by accident or on purpose, but the guy's nickname was Len. Well, every major shock manufacturer is pretty much a 3-letter name. Fox, KYB.
Oh yeah.
HPG for the old Skidoo, KYB, HPG.
Yeah.
Len. See what I mean? It just fell into place. It works really well for the brand image, I think, too, because it's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, I got Len.
Yeah. I want to see if I could get their website in one of these windows here.
When are you guys playing your first ride and where? We're hoping. Usually, our first ride the past few years has been Halliburton Forest, because they always seem to get snow first. So we're hoping that before Christmas or just after Christmas, we can do Halliburton Forest again this year before I have to go to school for next semester. Is kind of the plan. Yeah,
that's usually the first. It's hard to pick around here.
You're saying trail ride. That's our first ride. First ride is whenever we get snow. My grandma, his mom, happens to live right next to a farmer field, and it kind of works out perfectly. It's a 5-10 minute drive from here. So we always like to break the cobwebs off the old sleds or break in a new one. Those are kind of the stomping grounds. Any of our field drift busting videos have been filmed there over the years. So
there's 2 fields out there that we have permission to ride in. So if it's not the one field right next to my mom,
we're kind of just waiting for the phone call from Energy any day now too.
So we'll see. Hopefully, I don't want to be studding a track in too cold of weather though. That's never fun.
We're not going to make the same mistake we made last year. We waited until the snow hits to stud a track, because
I had no choice last year though.
I didn't have a choice. We could have studded mine in October.
All right.
Sorry about that. Our internet went completely down that time.
Well, that's funny. No, it happens. It doesn't even faze me anymore, because I've had so many problems in the past with my internet. It's pretty crazy.
It's a lot more awkward when the guest is the only one left in the chat.
Yeah. Outdoor Hobby guy said, it's too bad your distributors don't promote in the dealers in Quebec. The Frenchies are starving for something else to try. Are you getting more representation of products out there in the Quebec market?
So, yeah, we're working with our distributors to get more dealers throughout all of Canada and all of US. It's just a process, and again, just like you guys have said, you're just starting to hear about us in the industry. It takes time to get there.
Yeah, right. Like with everything, it's a fairly new entry into the market as far as the shocks go. So it's you've got a long road to hoe, so to speak.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, there's another good picture of him too.
See, Greg Kelly says, yes, we were all very patient with Gary's internet.
Well, thank you for all being patient with our internet.
Everybody knows what to expect, So yeah, it's a beautiful looking shock.
Yeah. It took our team. We toiled over making sure every detail about these shocks, the look, the internals, the springs, everything. We were very meticulous on making sure everything was exactly how we would prefer it to be on our machines. And that's one of the places that we really what we use when we do testing is we're riding these on our machines. That's where we're running these shocks, and we all are putting them on our own machines because we want to have a good suspension and not have to deal with having a very large bill when it comes to buying that into that suspension.
And one thing to add on,
buy riders for riders is always a good philosophy to have.
Yep, exactly. And from the quality aspect, just one more thing to point out, our partnered supplier for these, we've visited many times, and it's an amazing facility. They're great to work with. We're talking with them hand in hand every day. And whenever they develop a new shock, it runs 3 million cycles constant. It takes 17 days, and they measure the wear after that 17 days and the 3 million marker, and to make sure it's adequate and in the correct range.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Non-stop. It does not stop overnight. It keeps going.
Yeah, that's wicked. Do you think that once you get a proven track record out there and more sleds on the snow, that you'll extend the warranty on them?
So our warranty really is set up to get you through that first initial when you buy it and get it to that first rebuild. That's really where because once it goes to that rebuild, those guys are going to be warranting the shock and helping take care of that process.
Right. So what you're thinking is that if you don't have any problems out of the gate, you likely won't have any problems.
Exactly. Yeah. If a shock's going to fail because of a manufacturer's defect, normally it's going to fail within the first 100 miles or, half hour to day of riding.
That makes sense. That's like a lot of good products, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
What is your thought?
Pretty standard. Our warranty is quite standard in the suspension industry.
Is it okay? That's one thing I didn't know. I didn't know whether people are offering longer or shorter or how that worked. But what's your thoughts on, like, all these are single rate springs? What's your opinion on dual rate springs?
So some of ours, a lot of the pictures that we gave you were just single rate, but we do have progressive rate springs on there on some, and we do have a couple that are dual rate, and they are very good at what they do. The reason we don't use them on every shock is because on our shocks, it depends on what the application is. For certain applications, it's not needed. We don't need to have that initial load up and then use the rest of the spring. On that application, we can simply use that full spring to take that dampening power.
Nice. There's another good close-up shot of it. It's too bad that the screen doesn't do it much justice as far as the look and feel. But if you get, when's your next event that you're going to be at? If you want to shout out some events, do you have any more shows planned?
Not for the current year. We are currently working on what events we'll be at in the coming year. The best place to know where we're going to be is to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. It's simply type in Len Performance on those platforms. You'll find us. You'll be able to find us, and on there is where we really tell everybody where we're going to be.
But also across Canada, we know some of our two distributors. We know they're going to be at some of the shows across Canada too. So,
yeah, that's great.
Facebook or Instagram, where they're going to be at too, so you can go and see and feel these shocks in person.
Yeah, nice. I think that's going to be a big plus for you guys, is getting them out there in the hands of dealers and that type of thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Will the dealers have displays with the shocks on them in their showrooms, kind of thing? Is that something you're open to do?
So our distributors are working with dealers, with quite a few dealers, to have shocks that the consumer can actually get their hands on and look at. Some of them are putting them on demo machines so that they can actually this winter ride a machine around and get that feel of how our shocks work. It all depends on your dealer and what distributor they're using.
Nice. I love this Snowcat here. This is great. Where is this from?
So that's actually everyone's going to be shocked. That is in Iowa.
Really?
I'm from Iowa originally, and I am very active in grooming trails. I absolutely love grooming trails. It's the next best thing to riding a snowmobile trail. It's a lot warmer. It's really nice. But this is actually my home club's Tucker, and so that one I've put more hours than I would probably want to admit to. But I've actually used that machine. I've ran that machine for countless hours through the middle of the night, making sure that all the trails were safe and ready for poker runs and just everyday riding.
Yeah, that's a pretty high machine. Is there any issues getting it in some of the areas?
You with a Tucker, you would be surprised at where they can go. I've literally been on side hills that where I've been driving and the passenger is literally leaning and putting his head on my shoulder because it's so angled over. The only thing that a machine like that is really susceptible to is going to be ice. If you get an ice trail, you start to slip a little more, and that's when you have a little more trouble sticking on those steep side hills and climbing out of ditches. But that I've rarely found a place that I can't take that machine and get in and out.
Your trails must be fairly open though, like not any low branches or things like that. Froze again.
I thought that one advertisement on the back said fannies, and I was like, hey, it says frannies. Right? It says frannies. That's why I looked at it. I'm like, hey, those who know.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of Tuckers like this before. You know, I think
they're bigger in the States. They're bigger in the States. Like we're more like piston bully and tractors here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like your New Holland TH, your John Deere 7Rs.
Yeah, with the Southsea tracks.
Oh, there we are.
But yeah, no, yeah.
So you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying that you must have very open trails that you don't have any low branches or tight tree canopies in them, right?
No, we have the tight tree canopies and tight trails, and back home and even up here. In those machines, the biggest thing is having a good club that goes out and trims up the trees on the trail, knowing the height of their machine. And if you look at the front of that machine, you can see they have big guards over the mirrors because we will slap trees.
Yeah, nice. that thing there wouldn't be much stopping. It would be like Killdozer, right?
Oh, this is a picture from Heydays.
Yeah, this is Heydays.
Oh, so they were right by Arctic. They were right behind rocks. Oh man, so I know how we missed you guys. So we went from Arctic to
Skidoo.
No, to rocks. Then we snaked to Marlin, who were diagonal. Yeah, and we came back on a diagonal, walked right past you guys.
You went right around us. So.
Yeah, we were.
You would be in the background of we have a video. Well, we have a video at Rocks. We have a video at Marlin. You'd be in the background of some of those.
We would have
walked right past you.
We'll catch you next year.
Absolutely. So
whose cutie is this?
This is actually my daughter.
Is that right? Oh,
awesome.
She's one of our biggest fans. But as you can see, the thought of suspension and what she's going to be able to achieve with our shocks, you can already see the wheels turning in that brain.
That's right. She's probably thinking it's pretty. She wants to have one.
Oh, she'll have plenty.
Yeah. There's the booth.
Yeah, you can see Marlin's flag on the very far left. So
it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Good setup there.
It's probably because they had the Polaris side by side and the ATV on that side of the booth, and I just went.
Yeah.
Right. You got a Maverick X3 and a XMR Renegade on that side with their maybe I would have walked. Or like that dude sitting there.
I think when you're building a brand though, like once people start recognizing that name, you'll get more people.
less people walking by, more people stopping in.
Yeah, we had a lot of people stopping in. Pretty much everyone who was at Heydays, you probably recognize our hats of all things. We had some giveaway hats that pretty much you couldn't walk around Heydays without seeing our hats this year.
Right
We gave away 600 straw hats with the Len logo on it, and I think 500 of them were gone the first day.
I did see people with straw hats on.
Yeah,
Those are ours.
Yeah. You're gonna have to save me those hats for next year.
Yeah, you know what? This does with the I can't tell if that's a general what that is up on the wood. That does actually look familiar now.
I do recognize something now.
There's those hats. I saw people with those hats on.
All I got was free keychains, and you're giving away hats like this? Come on.
And was the scan to win for that Polaris?
So we actually so what the scan to win was for was a set of shocks. We gave a full set of shocks away. And the winner was actually a young man out of Upper Peninsula, Michigan, that is going to school up there. He's got them on, and he is just biting at the bit to try and get out on snow right now.
Oh, I bet. That's awesome. Is this a product you'd say is a do-it-yourself kind of thing? Like once you get the shocks, you can put them on yourself? Or should you be getting your dealer to install these?
It really all depends on you as a mechanic, and also your understanding of suspension of a snowmobile. Because if you don't really understand it, or I would recommend you go to a service center or a dealer and have them get them set up for you. But if you do if you're able, you know how your way around a wrench, and you are able to set the sag of a machine, then absolutely these are a bolt-on right out of the box product that really, if you know how to put them on, it's not going to be hard to get your machine ready and set up.
Nice. Perfect.
Oh yeah, there they are at the front door.
AA sign. So I love that.
Yep.
Oh, there's where
that's a Toronto show. Yep. Yeah. Yep.
What you guys were in a great spot, by the way, right at the changeover between halls.
Yep.
Very high traffic, right next to Royal Distributing, which is like the biggest power sports gear and everything. So everybody goes to that booth and then would walk right past you. You guys honestly got an amazing spot at the show.
Yeah, and we were busy the entire time. We were always talking to somebody, and it was a lot of really great getting the word out and getting everyone to understand who we are.
Yeah, what in your mind, what's the most funnest event you did this year?
I would have to say Heydays. For me personally, Heydays. I absolutely love Heydays. I've not missed a year in almost 20. I've been going to the show. This year, I got to bring my little girl in, and we got to have this amazing booth we had. It was just an amazing.
All-Terrain TV says my offer still stands on sending out my rev. I think they cut out at that time. Haha. I think they cut out every time you bring up the rev, actually, All-Terrain TV. Maybe that's the problem. They're just ignoring you. So I think he had said they do about 4 or 5 events a year.
Yeah, I wonder if they did Wide Open Wisconsin, because they said that they like riding
possibly.
They might have done that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna have to see if they'll let Massart pick up a couple of hats for lodge sessions.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say a set of 4 shocks for a 2018 XRS.
Maybe for lodge sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do them in the parking lot live on the scene with minimal tools.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks everybody for working through this their technology problems. Now I know what it feels like to be me. So here they are. They're back again. Hey, welcome back, guys.
Nice intermission.
It's good. Everyone gets a little bathroom break.
Chris,
there you go. But
Chris
yeah,
Watson-
so for me, it was heydays and everything to really be able to show our shocks off and to have everyone experience what Len is, and to be able to really show the world what we've been working on for a few years now.
Very cool. How many events do you do a year? Chris asks.
It all depends on the year, to be honest. This year, we focused on getting the word out at heydays and at the Toronto show.
Oh, we lost them again. Yeah, I think those two shows are probably the biggest events you could focus on. Is Toronto's coined themselves as the largest snowmobile show, which I argue that, but and Heydays definitely is the largest for outdoor for sure.
There's a couple events internationally. There's the one that it's the one that Lynx went to and revealed their race sled at. I forget the name of it. Like that would be the only other bigger fish. But I think honestly for the North American market, Toronto and Heydays is the two, right?
Yeah.
That's the two.
Yeah. Wide Open Wisconsin might be a good one too. That was another one that Fast Track mentioned. So
I'm trying to think of what the other show, the other big one that's snowmobile. There's another big one is there one in New York that happens too, area?
Yeah, there is, but it's very small.
Okay. I think most states probably do have one. I'm just trying to think of the big ones.
Everyone must be streaming Netflix in Michigan tonight.
It's Minnesota. Maybe it's snowing out.
It could be. Yeah. I'm just going to go through and see if we missed anything. Question-wise, I think we covered it all.
I think you just need to ask about the Rev R&D, and then maybe the problems will go away.
That's right. I think we should see if they can get a couple of shocks for the Wolverine. That would be awesome.
It'd be 3 shocks, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you get a shock?
Quebec has just a few little shows. Yeah. There was one show that actually QUALIPIECES was just at in Quebec.
At least it's not that as bad as the Tyson Paul fight. Very true.
Yeah. Yeah, we've actually gone more than 7 rounds here tonight.
Somebody asked me at the convenience store when I was getting drinks that night, they said, what are your predictions for the Tyson Paul fight? And I said, everybody loses.
Yeah.
Said nobody won in that fight. Except for Tyson and Paul, who made big checks off it.
Yeah, exactly. No, they're back.
Oh my gosh. This is getting a little ridiculous.
No, that's fine. It's so funny because All Terrain TV says my offer still stands on sending out my Rev. I think they cut out at that time. And I said, I think they cut out every time you bring that up.
Sorry, hard of hearing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so we were talking about the number of shows. You said you focus on Toronto and Heydays. Did you go to Wide Open Wisconsin or any other shows like that?
We didn't this year. In the future, we might. It all just depends on timing and scheduling. That's the biggest thing for us.
We'll start to do some ATV and UTV shows here this next summer too. So.
Yeah,
pushing that.
Well, that's the thing. Chris says Chris is in Quebec, and he said the dealers do a good job here, and I think they're more popular than the shows. And we actually echoed that about the Toronto show. Is that Energy POWERSPORTS Open House was way more fun and interactive than the Toronto Snowmobile show. You know,
sure. You don't complain. Yeah. We got a video that I recorded and edited from that show. So everybody watching, do not complain about how boring the video is. It's what the show was. It's honestly, I had no comments. There was not even an outro film for it. I had no comments on it.
We didn't talk to Len though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know, because like that. By that point, my phone was dead and out of storage. So I was like, whatever. We're talking to him now. This is better.
No, I did talk to you guys, but you're so busy, and I knew you were going to come on here, so we didn't need to do a little segment, but we'll get you next time.
Absolutely.
And this is Heydays again. Really cool. Love it.
Yeah. And now Heydays, that's a fun show. It is a fun show. It doesn't matter the year. It's always a ball, and there's always something unique and something new. This year, we got to be the new.
Yeah. And you see you had Yukon Cornelius there pop into the booth from
the movie. That he would be. That he would be.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this is a great shot too. That's where you're sitting right now.
Yep, this is our shop. So this is where we do all of our working on changing out shocks on different machines.
Plus,
how many people work? Yeah, how many people work at Len?
We have roughly between about 50 to 100 people that devote time to the brand. Ranging from our warehouse all the way up to Bo and myself, who take care of the different product lines.
Wow, that's a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be. The answer, that's for sure. Oh, there you go. Yeah, and then here's your exclusive Canadian distributors, Sun and Snow and Gamma. Sun and Snow, like, is it more of a Western Canada thing, or are they all across Canada?
They are all across Canada. They started out more on the western side of the country, but they are ever expanding into different parts of the country.
Very cool. And in the US, you have automatic distributors, WPS and DCS.
Yep. Yeah, and then we're located right there in the middle of the country, up here in Minnesota, and perfect place to be doing all of our testing and developing.
Yeah. It's a good spot because, like, Just Fly Low says, there's 2 manufacturers for snowmobiles in that area.
Yep, up on the north end of the state. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice because then you have access to, testing and things like that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very cool. But no, that's thanks a lot for sending all those photos in. That was pretty cool.
Not a problem.
Learn a lot about the products. Is there anything else you want to? Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything that we maybe missed tonight?
No, I think we really covered everything about about the product. We both truly believe that our product speaks for itself. Whether it's the quality, the look, the performance. We've set our shocks up that they're going to perform for you, and we're not worried about about when someone gets them. We know that as more people get them, it's just the word about Len is gonna spread.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're just seeing this on the early stages of it, and as more people learn about it and get it on the snow, I think this winter is going to be critical for you guys, right?
Yeah,
as far as getting people out there riding. Yeah,
everyone do the snow dance.
Yeah, for sure. And again, lenperformance.com. And if you search Len Performance on Facebook and Instagram, you'll come up to their social media pages, and away we go. But if your dealer doesn't carry them, is it something that they should be pushing or asking at the parts counter for the product information?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. And you can also find us on YouTube. We also do have a YouTube as well, where you can actually see some of our test videos of us testing. We have some tip videos on there, install videos as well. So you can also see us on there.
Yeah, perfect. Yep, make sure you check them out. Everyone, if you haven't subscribed to this episode, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button as well for us. We really appreciate it. But thank you guys for your time tonight. And definitely we'll be in touch with you. And as things go, if you ever have any new products coming out, you want to get on here to announce, we'd love to have you back on.
Absolutely. We'll get better internet for next time.
Oh, for sure.
Chris Watson says, great show, guys. Good night, everybody. You're going to chat next Monday. Yeah, so it's been pretty good. So what I'll do is I'll run the outro, and there's 2 more videos here I think you want to watch, and we'll hook up with everybody next week.
Thanks, guys, for having us on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I do too. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time tonight.
It's a journey for